Fred fed Ted bread, and Ted fed Fred bread. Fred fed Ted bread, and Ted fed bread Fred. Fed? Fred fed Ted bread, and Ted fed Fred bread. Got it.
Oh, I did a Schnews.
Right, welcome everybody. This is the first ever video I've ever put on YouTube. For real. This is the Schnews. This is a calm, relaxed look at the news. We try and find some news stories that's not gonna make us wanna, you know. We take it chill. We take it funny. We take it one day at a time. Welcome.
Oh, I did a Schnews.
Let's just go through the main news of the day. Israel says body of hostage recovered in night raid. Shameful to call UK and to end Israel arms sales. Oh god. This won't be the kind of news that I want to focus on. It's obviously terrible, but there's loads of other people covering this kind of news if you want to listen to it. No, I'm not saying anything. Dozens of flights cancelled as Storm Kathleen sweeps in. Big storms recently. Could be from the apocalypse, which we'll touch later. Could be from the apocalypse. You know, you never know. Ibiza. Locals living in cars as Party Island sees rent soar. Oh man, that sucks. Royal Navy seizes big boy drugs. Yeah, classic news day. This is what I want to focus on, though. First of all, let's start with William Rag. They had compromising things on me and wouldn't leave me alone. I wanted to get into this. This is something that I've noticed in the news, but I've not really actually seen much about it. Senior Tory William Ragg has told Times that he gave personal phone numbers of fellow MPs to a man he met on a dating app because he was scared. The individual had compromising things on me. Compromising things. It follows report that at least 12 men in political circles received unsolicited WhatsApp messages. It's pretty dark times. Deep dark dealings going on in the depths of the cabinet. Is he in the cabinet? I don't know. Some of them reported to send images of themselves. The men are reported to include government minister, advisors, and political journalists based at Westminster. Yeah, MP security. It's pretty easy if you're giving stuff like that away. It's pretty easy for people to use it against you. I'm not too bothered about him on the dating app or whatever. That's kind of personal business. It's if you're in a position where you're going to give people's phone numbers to somebody, I think that's the position when you'd be calling the police in, saying, look, this isn't what I thought it was. Time to get the coppers involved at that point before giving the phone numbers, because he's not going to do nothing with them. He's obviously going to use them, and I don't know if he asks for specific people's phone numbers or just like a general net. The former MP was in a relationship. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I think a lot of Tory MPs are coming out saying that he's like, oh, how brave he was to now admit it all and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, it's just one big mistake. I don't think he's running again. Right, another news story I wanted to touch on. Sacha Baron Cohen's been a lot in the news again. It's one of those stories that I've seen, but I've not really looked further into, waiting for it to develop a little bit further. But Sacha Baron Cohen and Isla Fisher file for divorce. After spending 2 decades together, in a social media post announcing the split, the actors said they jointly filed their marriage at the end of last year. They have 3 kids, got engaged in 2004. Long standing then, 2 decades, man. Fair play. Uh, Sharing the news with a picture of themselves wearing tennis whites, they wrote, "After a long tennis match lasting over 20 years, we're finally putting our rackets down." In a post published on both of their stories, we have prioritized our privacy and have been quietly working through this change. Fair play, but this does come after stuff. This does come after stuff. Let's have a look at this. Last month, Baron Cohen, an Australian actress. This is what I thought it might have been related to, but it might just be two completely separate events. An Australian actress, Rebel Wilson, got involved in a dispute ahead of the release of her memoir. That book's now been delayed, I think, in the UK and Australia. The book includes allegations against Baron Cohen, who is understood to have threatened legal action. She wrote that she was asked to do some things that were derogatory to women or to my size. While Sacha Baron Cohen filming Grimsby, she wasn't that, wasn't she? Being humiliated and sexually harassed, which is obviously terrible. It's one of those tough ones. It's one of those ones where it's like, of course I don't want to believe it. I think he's like a really funny guy. I've never met him, obviously. There's no connection that we have, but he's a good dude, I thought. But if this comes out true, it's like when I remember stuff came about, but with Robin Williams. I fucking love Robin Williams. All of his shows, all of his films. 1 hour photo has to be up there. But yeah, that he was like really inappropriate on set and doing some really like allegedly effed up s. Right, lighter news. Let's focus on some good schnews. Great granddad, 111, is the world's oldest living man. Great grandfather from Merseyside. He's a Scouser. Great grandfather from Merseyside has become the oldest living man. John Tinniswood. Hello, my friend. Let's see what he has to say.
Here we go, John. We've got your fish and chips.
Oh, good Lord.
There we go. Your favourite on a Friday.
Well, thank you.
A deeper voice than I was expecting, but fair play to the lad. Fish and chips. Don't let anybody tell you that fish and chips isn't a good meal. Right, John Tinniswood. Good looking lad. Prediction on his job? Tinniswood. Financial advisor. Let's go. Oh, he worked for the Royal Mail, for Shell, and for BP until he retired in 1972. A man of the elements. A man of petroleum. And delivering it. Guinness World Record Certificate on the 4th of April. Good lad. A woman is older, though. The oldest living human being is in Spain. Maria Branash Morera, who has celebrated her 117th. So she's got 6 years on you, John.
Here we go, John. We've got your fish and chips.
Oh, good Lord.
There we go. Your favourite on a Friday.
Well, thank you.
Good lad. Can't take the mick. He's a Liverpool fan. Good lad. Been on the terraces. More than I can say. Ain't gonna lie. Right. Next big news one. I'm a bit worried about this one. Solar eclipse. I know what a solar eclipse is. This is a basic image. But a lot of shit goes down in a solar eclipse. And scrolling on X recently, formerly known as Twitter, I do see a lot of, I don't know what you would call them, conspiracy possibly, but just like random videos about like, yeah, the world's going to end at this eclipse. Japan's seas are shrinking. Nuclear war, all of that jazz. Safely watch it. I don't think we're going to be able to see it in the UK. Again, here you can see it for 5 minutes, a little bit in this bit. How long have they got over here? Half an hour of it. But it's more in America, so obviously America thinks they're the centre of the world. How can I watch safely eclipse? Right, we're not going to see it much in England. Sorry, guys. But let's have a look at the eclipse history in the world of the Earth, in the history of the Earth. Yeah, long before humans have been walking on this planet, eclipses have been occurring. Throughout time, humans have had different interpretations and reactions to these striking celestial events. History.com got a better article on this one. Right, so just some big events in eclipse history. 2134 BC, solar eclipse spells doom for Sai and Ho. One of the earliest records of an eclipse appears in the ancient Chinese document Xing, which describes a day on which the sun and moon did not meet harmoniously. Historians believe this tells of the reference of the solar eclipse of October the 22nd, 2134 BC. The legend tells of two royal astronomers, Sai and Ho, who had shirked their duties and gotten drunk on the job. Striking. As a result, they failed to predict the event and were beheaded by the emperor. Okay. Not much was going on back then. Solar eclipse. Lydians and the Medes. Sounds Greek. According to the ancient Greek Herodotus, a solar total eclipse brought about the unexpected ceasefire between two warring nations as they were fighting near the river Halys in what is now central Turkey for 5 years. The Lydians and Medes were battling for control of Anatolia. Put down their arms. Reminds me of World War Two, is it? No, World War One. Christmas time. They all just started playing football with each other, and like a striking moment of just like what happens if we just put our guns down. Just this all stops. Yeah. Deadly for Athens. Lunar eclipse saves Christopher Columbus from starvation. Now we're getting into it. 12 years after his landing at San Salvador, Christopher Columbus was exploring the Central American coast when woodworms attacked his ship, causing leaks and forcing him to make an emergency stop in Jamaica. He and his crew spent more than a year awaiting relief. The indigenous people of the island initially welcomed them, offering them food and shelter, but cut off their supplies when the Spaniards failed to offer and trade in return. And some of Columbus's crew members began stealing from them. Not a good look, Columbus. In those moments, maybe you should just try and trade what you can. According to an account by his son, Ferdinand, Columbus consulted the Almanac he had brought with him and read about an upcoming total eclipse. Ferdinand writes that Columbus told the Jamaicans that the gods were unhappy with them for failing to provide assistance and that they would show their disapproval by turning the moon a bloody red colour. The eclipse occurred on the schedule, and the Ferdinand claims that the Jamaicans reacted in fear and promising them to resume feeding Columbus and his crew. Fair play. A lot of peace happens. A lot of peace happens. Maybe we get a bit of peace tomorrow or Monday, whatever it is, let's get a bit of peace going. World and possibly America, but America aren't actually in the wars, but they are supporting certain sides of each war or battle. Is it a war? Difference between a war and a battle. It is a war. It's between two nations. Right. This is going to be another. I like this kind of regular feature. On this day, whichever I do this day. So today is the 6th of April. I might release it today. I might not. Nothing you can do about it. Olympics was revived. The Olympics, hey. 1896, back in Athens. I am glad they did it in Athens again. Big day. We had an earthquake in Italy, 2009. Not that long ago. 300 people. Jesus. Bless them. American basketball player Michael Jordan, widely considered the game's greatest all-round player. Bit of sport there. Inducted into the Hall of Fame. Post-it notes. Post-it notes came to our stores in 1980 today. Bit of baseball. Oh. The United States declared war on Germany, thus entering World War I 3 years after the conflict began. Yeah, they always get the late train in America. Ooh, Church of Latter-day Saints. Joseph Smith was created. And Richard I, the Lionheart. So that's the king and stuff in Robin Hood and stuff. Died at Chalus in the Duchy of Aquitaine. Big up Dickie. Big up Willie Ragg. Don't big him up too much. I'm glad he's not standing again. He did something really bad, but don't king shame.
Oh, and dit is Schnews.